We've heard a word of hope from Rachel, and now I want to invite my friend CeCe Brown to come and share her story. CeCe, her son Ryan, grew up going to summer youth celebration with my husband Derek, and CeCe is going to come and share a little bit about her experience and also the hope that she has and that she is working for.
I'm bringing my husband with me because actually we're a team. You know how women are. Sometimes we do a lot of talking, and I do. but we are a team. We do this together. I want to thank you first for inviting us to come today to talk about hope and to share our story about our son Ryan. I'm grateful to be able to have this opportunity to talk with you about that. And speaking of hope, before I get into my story, I just want to say one thing. Every time I hear Rachel's story, it makes me smile and gives me more hope. And so I think that if you take the opportunity to get to know people, to get connected, I think it will just warm your heart and just take you to a new level. God has amazing things in store for people, and it's important, I think, to do those things. There was a knock on the door. It was two detectives with shiny gold badges. My thoughts were, is my son in jail? Is he in trouble yet again? You see, when you have a child with an addiction, heroin addiction, anything can happen. Trauma and chaos sit on your doorstep waiting to get into your home and into your life. Addiction can happen to anyone. You're not immune from it. None of us are. It touches many, many families. My son Ryan had struggled for 7 years with addiction. Many told us that Ryan had a smile that would light up a room. He had a laugh that was contagious, yet he struggled with addiction. Before addiction began, he was a normal child playing baseball, soccer, skateboarding, learning to play the cello. I remember watching him walk down the sidewalk to elementary school with a cello on his back that looked almost as big as him. I recall watching the early morning soccer games with Ryan, chasing the ball. Those images are typical for any young little boy. No one knew the problems that lie ahead. And one of the things that made me think about Ryan this morning, you were talking about someone to help with the sound system. That was one of the things Ryan did, is helping with the sound system at church. So you're always getting memories and remembering things, no matter what you do in life. When he graduated, Ryan went to WVU, and during his second year, he came home to the clutches of an addiction. We had no idea where to turn. He went in and out of recovery and relapse as well. But thank God for the sober days of recovery, which allowed us to create precious memories. When Ryan would relapse, I said to him, Ryan, you know the way back. Another day is a day of hope. After his first overdose, he was worried that he didn't see the light when he was gone, and he was literally gone. And he kept saying, Mom, I didn't see the light, and that really worried him. And I said, Ryan, God wasn't ready for you yet. You may not know why, and I don't know why, but in time, you'll know. God has a plan for you. I remember Ryan walking to the car with me after having dinner at Cracker Barrel one weekend that he was home for WVU. At that moment, in the parking lot, I saw a young man who was mature, responsible, caring, and becoming a man. I was never more proud of him than I was at that moment. It was when he first went to WVU. I hold on to that moment in time. It was a glimpse of the man he was supposed to be. After I let the detectives into my living room that night, and they gave me the tragic news. My son had passed away on 4/25/14 of an overdose in Macy's bathroom. I said to the detectives that I didn't want one more person to die. And I had a choice to make. Would I allow my hope for Ryan to wither away with him? Or would I resurrect that hope and give it to others? I chose to give that same hope I had for Ryan to others. I chose to forgive the person that gave him that last dose. I chose to use Ryan's memory in a positive way to help others. In August, my husband and I started an organization called Ryan's Hope to raise awareness about addiction and recovery, addiction and overdose. Within weeks of starting this organization, we had the first Overdose Awareness Day tribute on the steps of the Capitol, the state capitol. We asked families and friends to bring a pair of shoes to represent the person that they had lost to addiction and overdose. Within weeks, the governor presented a proclamation to us for West Virginia Overdose Awareness Day on August 31st, 2016. You see, God did have a plan after all. It wasn't my plan, as I would never have chosen to lose my son. I miss my son every day, but I know he's in heaven. God chose to use this tragic event. I'm not saying that God caused it, as I don't believe that either. Things happen. Bad things really do happen to good people. Ryan had a good heart, and he's still using Ryan to help others and to raise awareness. So it didn't matter that he didn't see the light on that first overdose. God wasn't ready for him yet. With the help of God, we chose hope, we chose forgiveness, we chose service to others. Faith is what gets us through it. Faith is what pushes us forward. Faith is what creates things out of the muck of life that you never dreamed would happen, good or bad. I give to you today Ryan's Hope. God bless you.
If you want to see hope, I've toured recovery for men. I went to South Park. I don't remember all the name of these places. South Foundations. It's a main place. Union Vision. And I've toured Rachel's place before they get it finished. I've been there. If you want to see hope, go see if you can call these places, see if you can come in and see these guys and these women. That's real hope. Because know what they went through and know what they're doing. And changing their lives. With Rachel's story, that's hope. We as a community can change it. We look at people and we think, oh, he's an addiction, drug addict. He's somebody's son, or somebody's uncle, somebody's brother, sister, or could be a sister, or aunt. He's somebody, they're somebody, they're people. We gotta realize their names first and quit judging them for what's going on. We need to look at people first instead of judging what they're doing or what they're wrong. Because I always believe that one thing the Bible says, even without sin, cast the first stone. How many of us do cast first stones on people with addiction? And then you look at them, if you see someone with addiction, overdose, you don't want to see them like you. But if you walk by, you think about it. You walk by and it's like somebody overdosed, somebody's brother, somebody's passed out. Did you ever have to think, maybe that's Jesus laying there just to see what your reaction would be? Maybe it's God saying, what would you do if you walk by me laying there, not knowing what's wrong with me? What would you do? Would you just keep on walking? It's a world out there that's getting worse. But we gotta have hope. We gotta try to can't stop the drugs coming in. It's just so overwhelming now with drugs. And we gotta work on both of them. The police gotta work on their part. We need to work with these people. They're kind of always organizations. Because there's not enough freedom for everybody. We need more help. More help. Thank you.
Well, it's hard to follow Rachel and CeCe. So what I'm going to do is read a passage of Scripture and draw some connections from how Jesus responds to a man that he encounters and to how we, as the church, can bring hope. So this comes from Luke chapter 8, beginning in verse 26. And they sailed to the region of the Gerasenes, which is across the lake from Galilee. And when Jesus stepped ashore, he was met by a demon-possessed man from the town. For a long time, this man had not worn clothes or lived in a house, but lived in the tombs. When he saw Jesus, he cried out and fell at his feet, shouting at the top of his voice, "What do you want with me, Jesus, Son of the Most High God? I beg you, don't torture me." For Jesus had commanded the evil spirit to come out of the man. Many times it had seized him, and though he was chained hand and foot and kept under guard, he had broken his chains and had been driven by the demon into solitary places. Jesus asked him, "What is your name?" "Legion," he replied, because many demons had gone into him, and they begged him repeatedly not to order them to go into the abyss. A large herd of pigs was feeding on the hillside, and the demons begged Jesus to let them go into them, and he gave them permission. And when the demons came out of the man, they went into the pigs, and the herd rushed down the steep bank into the lake and was drowned. When those tending the pigs saw what had happened, they ran off and reported this in the town and the countryside, and the people went out to see what had happened. When they came to Jesus, they found the man from whom the demons had gone out, sitting at Jesus' feet, dressed and in his right mind, and they were afraid. And those who had seen it told the people how the demon-possessed man had been cured. And then all the people of the region of the Gerasenes asked Jesus to leave them, because they were overcome with fear. So he got into the boat and left. And the man from whom the demons had gone out begged to go with him, but Jesus sent him away, saying, "Return home and tell how much God has done for you." So the man went away and told all over the town how much Jesus had done for him. It's the word of God for the people of God.
Thanks be to God.
So I am going to attempt to keep this pretty brief. But we start out, and Jesus has gone across the Sea of Galilee to the land of the Gerasenes, and he goes to a place that most people don't want to go to. He goes to a graveyard, and they were just as superstitious about graveyards as we are today. But Jesus goes to this graveyard, and he encounters this man who was being possessed by many demons. And it's been a long time, it's been a really long time since this man has had any kind of relationship with his family, with his friends. He doesn't live in the town anymore. He is living among the tombs. And it says that he had been driven by the demon into solitary places. Solitary places. We heard that in both Rachel's story and also CeCe and Bobby's story. This sense of isolation, of being alone, of no longer having the relationship with friends and family, and feeling like there is nobody else there in the world. You know, addiction, we might say, is a demon of sorts, because it possesses and it destroys and it isolates. And none of us, no one is created to be driven into the solitary places. But Jesus goes to the graveyard. He goes among the tombs, among those dead or like the dead. And instead of leaving them there, Jesus speaks. Jesus speaks. But first, Jesus sees. He sees the man. He speaks to the man. And then he offers healing to the man. So the demons are driven out. And, we have this story of they're sent into the herd of pigs, and then the pigs go off the cliff and drown themselves. And I always think, oh, what a waste of bacon. But the point is, Jesus has driven them out. Through Jesus, this man is able to see, to think differently than perhaps he was thinking as he was possessed by the demons, to see himself in a new way, and to sit at the feet of Jesus. But that's not the end of the story. That's not the whole of the healing. Not only does Jesus drive the demons away, he drives the demons now into a solitary place where they are isolated and can no longer come back. But this man who has been separated from his family and from his friends and from everyone, he is now brought back into the life of his community. And he even says, Jesus, please, take me with you. Because he might have been scared of what it would be like to return from this exile of sorts that he had been experiencing for years. But Jesus says, no, you know what? You are going to go home. And not only are you going to go home, you are going to share with everyone what the Lord has done for you. You are going to show the light. You are going to invite them to receive the healing that you have received from me. Jesus does not want anyone to be stuck in those solitary places. Whether it's from the demon of addiction, whether it's from illness, whether it's from fractured relationships, Jesus does not want anyone to be stuck in the solitary places. And so when Jesus heals, he not only, he might heal in body, he might heal in spirit, but he also heals in relationship. When we talk about the healing that comes from God, we're not just talking about, or we're not even necessarily talking about a cure, but we are talking about a renewal, about a restoration of relationship with God and with one another. And you heard this idea expressed as Rachel was telling her story, and what it was to go through recovery and to be restored to a purpose, to be restored, to be grateful, to be a light, to be a servant to others. You heard that in CeCe and Bobby's story. There is hope. There is hope in Jesus Christ for healing, for wholeness. And there is hope for our world and church. We are a part of expressing and sharing that hope because we know the one who gives us the ultimate hope. I'm wearing one of my favorite t-shirts, the Neighborhood Hope Dealer. Because you know what? We are all called to be dealers in hope in our workplaces, in our neighborhoods, in our families. This is who we are called to be. We are a people of hope. If we do not have hope, then who in the world's got it? Because we have Jesus Christ. We know the one who restores us all in body and mind and spirit, and if not in body in this life, in the life to come. We have this hope. So go and be a people filled with the hope of Jesus Christ. Amen. Now, today we are going to do something something a little bit different. There's a practice in the church that has gone back since the beginning of